let us... Oh, so we used some of our battery power there over in the overnight because our solar generator was not able to collect electricity. Now, interestingly, we're producing the exact amount that we need right now, and once the windmill gets up, we will start producing more. See, the wind strength here makes the windmill turn, and we get more power generation. So this will start to funnel that extra power into our giant battery there. But I think, on the whole, we are starting to produce stuff. We are starting to produce some ore, which is excellent. That is being produced and will eventually start being processed. There you go. In there. This is kind of a long path to get to the mines, but I really don't have anywhere else to put them. Maybe I'll eventually be able to put one over here and have a mine here that just feeds directly into the storage bay. But it's going to be a little while before we can start really investing in that. However, it is probably time for us to build a... Where is it? There it is. A landing pad, which will allow new people to come and settle in our fair colony. So let's... Where's that sweet spot? Hook up. There we go. So we'll hook that into there. So ships will come here, both trade ships and ships that drop off colonists. Now, once we get that colonist ship up, we will be able to set certain parameters that suggest to the game, okay, I want to have X amount of my population be engineers, and I want to have X amount be just straight workers, and I want to have X amount be biologists, and so on, right? Oh, we also are going to want... Hang on. I want to get... Well, that's fine to get built. I have no problem with that. But I do want to build a lab here. Connect it like that. And then I want to build a med bay. Where's the med bay? Med bay. Sick bay. There, and connect it like that as well. Excellent. Now, this is important because eventually some of our people, especially once we start mining operations, some of our people will get sick. They'll have like a little broken bone triangle above their head. I don't see anyone with that at present. But that will affect the health of our people. So we will want to be able to have a place for a doctor to go fix them. But while they don't have anything else to do, the doctor can sit and produce medical supplies in our med bay. It will require them to use 1 unit of plants and 1 unit of bioplastic to do so. However, in our laboratory, we can also grow meat of various kinds. Expansion reach. What's that? Oh, we got new colonists. Hooray! I don't even see who we got. Need to kick the time down, or the speed down, once the cutscene goes away. Yes, lovely. Thank you. So, speed down to 1. And who did we get? We got an engineer. I think that was it. Just get an engineer. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so we're probably going to want to build another amount of power generation. And one thing that I want to try to do, you can have like a whole power gen complex, but our current problem, and I guess we could create some redundancy in the system by connecting these two together, which is probably ultimately going to be a good idea. But setting that aside for a moment, if we put power gen in other places, like for example, this dormitory can't have, like the airlock, can't have more than 1 internal connection, but you can hook a bunch of stuff up to it. So if something takes out this power gen node, we can have some stuff over here. Give me just a second here. Oh, we don't have a lot of resources. Oh, trade ship. What can we provide you with? Okay, so you are selling just raw materials and cash. Now, how much? You are selling at a 55% commission, so it's not really worth to sell things to you. With the traders, they will require you to give a certain amount. Like they take a commission, basically, as it says, and so anything that they give you is valued at X times whatever. So if this is valued at 5, put it in here, it's valued at 7. That's a fifth with the extra commission add-on. So there are some that have lower commissions, and if you're going to sell just materials to them, it's probably best to do it there. So we're gonna hold off on selling anything to you here, my friend. I'm going to also set this as a priority room, so that if there is anything that can be produced in here, it is being produced, so that we constantly have an influx of materials. Now, these are the landing permissions. So this gives us a basic outline of what we want our base makeup to look like. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to steal a little bit from the engineers here and dump it into the workers, because the workers are the ones that are producing our raw resources, and if we want to start expanding the base, in my personal opinion, we're going to want to have more workers than anything, at least initially. However, as far as I can tell, late in the later part of the game, you can start to have some robots doing some of the menial worker tasks. So you can have mining robots, you can have robots that carry stuff, so you don't need your people to be devoted to doing those extra chores and tasks, if that makes sense. We are going to want to have a spare parts producer soon, but we're okay. There's no rush on that. We can probably get a little bit more infrastructure set up before that's really needed. I do want to put in a bed here, just in case anyone gets sick or hurts themselves or something. So yeah, got our meat producer. You can change the type of meat here. I don't know if there's a noticeable difference other than for the combination extra bonus you get from combining certain things. Like here we go. This guy is sick. She has a trauma injury from doubtless some sort of horrific industrial accident. So once this medbed is built, she will go to the medbed. There we go. So you're walking there, and they will consume a small part of our medical supplies. And the medic will come in and patch her up. So our medic is over here watching some telly, learning about the planet news. Another sip of tea. Go away. I want other ships to come. There we go. So our medic is over here using her medical supplies to patch up our fallen comrade, and there we go. Life is good. So she's going to go back and start producing some more medical supplies. I'm probably going to want to have another biodome shortly here. If we're going to start expanding the base, I'm going to build a slightly large biodome here. I'm going to set it, yeah, I think there's good. That'll work. And let's connect it to the storage bay there. So our storage bay is 40% full. Okay, you're gonna put that on the connection. Okay. Cool. So we've got some steel resource available. It's gonna need a lot of steel to put this in, though. Okay, so our meals are being consumed, but we are producing enough raw stuff to be able to replace it, I think. Oh, someone come see to this. The quality is dropping. As far as I can tell, though, if it hits 0, it doesn't wipe out what we're producing here. Okay, what are we getting? We're getting a biologist. Okay, cool. It doesn't kill the production. It doesn't drop it down or start diminishing. It just means that it's not going to start growing. So the lower the quality is, the slower the growth rate is, if that makes sense. Trade ship. Ooh, what is that? Ooh, like super huge patent. Okay, so what's your commission rate? 65. No, thank you. You can bugger right off, my good sir. Not interested in that. Okay, so we got a sandstorm coming in, which on the one hand is awful because things outside will start to take damage. On the other side, it does mean that we have full wind, and so as long as our fans are out here, we should be fine. Okay, this is going to be a way through. Oh, I was going to put some more power gen down on this side. That's right. So far as this, we've got some that's being moved about, produced and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to put in... Nope. Nope. Let's not turn that room off. That would be awful. I'm going to put in another large fan over here. Then I'm going to put in another medium-sized solar panel over here. Probably... fit another battery in here too. Connect. Is there any sweet spot on this terrain where I can fit a battery? Because the problem is you can't have your interior and exterior stuff overlapping. So I don't want to do that too much. I suppose I can just kind of build down this way. And, oh, that's not connected. That's why I can't put anything onto it. What if I put that here now? Is there anywhere? Nope. Okay, so let's pull that in. Like that. Okay, so we're using a lot of metal now, but that's fine. It's not too bad. We got 68% in, and all of our stuff is inside, so that's good. Let's set the speed up. I think maybe we'll go to the end of this day, so into the next daytime period. So we'll go through the night into the day, and probably be somewhat close to calling it for this particular gaming session. Okay. So our miners are producing ore. So we got a little ore cube out there. Connection has been built, so we got another turbine hooked into the power system here. So presently we are consuming 40 kilowatts of power. So if there's no electricity, and obviously if it's nighttime, we do start to drain our power reserves somewhat rapidly. So putting in this next phase of production is going to be important. Okay, what if we just get here? 2 workers and a biologist. Excellent. That is a good thing. And you're refining some ore. Nope. You're refining some starch into plastic. Okay, now someone's refining some ore. Goody goody gumdrops. Another problem that you sometimes run into, you can't prioritize what buildings people work on. Now we might have a power outage here if this wind doesn't pick up, because we are almost out of power. We're not producing enough. You're producing almost no power. Yep, there we go. Power outage. Oh noes. Eventually that'll go away. The wind is picking up, so that'll at least offset it, make sure that we don't run out of oxygen. But it's going to keep toggling on and off. And once we get the solar gen up, we should be okay. However, the problem is just not getting enough coming in. Now, one important thing, though, the game does point out to you, the closer a building is to the power generation and the power supply, the less it will be cut off from extra power, if that makes sense. So how many people do we have here? 14. we got some more workers. So, for example, the oxygen generator, because it's so close to all of this stuff, will not be shut off until there is no power anywhere else left in the grid. So, for example, the med bay will lose power before the oxygen generator will. The biodome will lose power before the oxygen generator will, if that makes sense. So we are using some of our spare parts here because the sandstorm did some damage to our exterior buildings. You can see that in the quality markers here and here. Okay, let's click the speed up here. I lied. I'm going to let the game build the rest of these objects and then I'll stop. The best at game. What I might do as well, because we're at 14 people, yeah, I really need to get this up because we're going to start running low on food. Actually, what I should do, let's put another meal maker here. And, oh, I've got too many other connections, so I can't connect these two anymore. Oh, that's fine. That actually means I can put in another television. There we go. So people can stand there and be happy. So this meal maker will make sure that we have more meals being produced. So there's a little bit of a walk for people to get stuff put in there, but oh well, no big deal. So we're still in need of metal to be placed appropriately. So you're going to take that over there. Can we get this biodome up, please? Because I want people to start starving. You know, probably... Oh, that's right. No, they haven't built that. So I'm going to delete this. I'll put it there eventually, but I don't want the resources being diverted there. We are producing some med kits. That's good. And we're at 71% storage capacity. Power storage is low. Yeah, because I can't get this thing produced. So we are, at this point, on the net whole over the day, we are producing more energy demand than we are producing energy supply, which is not good. If there's no wind, then we're kind of hosed. So we're going to have another power outage tonight. Whoops. Can we seriously get this done? Get this stuff brought out here? The oxygen generator is still going, though. That's the important part. We are not going to suffocate anytime soon, if at all possible. Another thing there. Asteroid crash. There we go. So the solar collector should start helping us. Okay, we got another wind turbine here. So if we get some wind, we should start having some power again. And the solar panel is at least restoring our oxygen supply. Yeah, see, it's getting kind of low, down to 14%, which is not good. It's not a good thing. So we are producing producing power into it. And sorry, I had a sneezing fit. Hope I got to the mic fast enough to mute it. Don't get a sudden whooshing sound of me sneezing in your ear. How much? Okay, so you've got 3 ores in you. Oh, I probably need another water fountain in here. Okay, let's do that. Water fountain, boosh. There we go. Oh, and I probably need another bed because we've been putting more people in. Sorry, I've not kept up with our base expansion needs very well. Okay, so there's another water thing there. There'll be another bed brought in. So yeah, some of these guys are getting tired. Super tired. So not working as efficiently. Trade ship. What you got for me? So we got robots that we can buy. What is your commission rate? 55. I have to start eating that. You don't really have a lot in the way of cash, so it's not really worth it to do it, because I don't want any of your stuff. How much is this? No. It's not worth it. We'll be fine. Fine without. I don't need your help. We're gonna run out of power again. Come on, wind! I hate you. The wind is the worst. I think part of our problem is not having enough energy holdover from the rest of the day. So, getting this power collector is starting to become somewhat of a priority. Good. The airlock has no oxygen. Come on, wind. Help me out here. Oh no. Oxygen is depleting. This is bad. Swordbase Alpha might not survive. Because we are rapidly losing oxygen here. The game is being a little coy with the amount of wind that it's producing. Like, usually two large windmills will be fine for you on power consumption. Oh, people have died of asphyxiation. Oh no. We had a bunch of people die. Yeah. Okay, everyone's suffocated. So, yeah, there we go. So, next time we'll be coming back with Swordbase Beta to try to do this better. See you next time, folks.